Don't worry, Mr. F-105. I will make sure that no one hurts you while you polish off those ground targets. After all, I just shot down the last 35 people who tried. Jesus Christ. I'm not sure what their plan was, but I don't think it worked. Thanks for the world record, noobs. Hello, I am Aoyalaipe, and I like to hop into top tier matches in War Thunder and then personally kill the entire enemy team by myself. Welcome to my channel. I have quite the video to show you guys today. Now, before you say anything, don't worry, you're only watching the replay for the first, 20 seconds here. OBS wasn't working, so I just switched to Outplayed as a backup, which I don't even care about. I'm just happy I got this on video at all. And what do I have on video, you ask? Okay, well, you remember that Belgian F-16A incident from 5-6 months ago where people were just mowing down entire lobbies with a cartoonishly broken jet? Well, apart from that incident, this right here is the world record jet kill streak. And I still managed to get within single digits of the best pre-nerf F-16A game. In other words, what I have to show you today is arguably the single most outrageous top tier killing spree in the entire history of War Thunder. So even by my standard, this is going to be a gratuitous bloodbath. So to all the people who say blah 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 blah, no skill, blah 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 at me, did you go on the single most outrageous top tier killing spree in the entire history of War Thunder? No? That's too bad. Maybe you'll have better luck next time. So first things first, I'm going to score this 5x multi-striker off the bat while fiddling with my video recording stuff since it still wasn't quite working. I had to switch from a screen recording to a normal Outplayed recording between kills 4 and 5, so there's a short gap I'm going to fill with the replay, and now it's gone. That's the last you'll be seeing of the replay, just normal recording from here on out. I don't even care that Outplayed is normally terrible and there's a watermark in the bottom right of my video. There are ways to remove the watermark, but I'm not even going to bother. Outplayed earned that watermark. It saved me here. Alright, so what I have here is the Mirage 4000, and the big cool selling point of this plane is that it has a lot of missiles. So in theory, you can kill an outrageous number of players with this jet, and in practice, I will kill an outrageous number of players with this jet and just absolutely nuke this poor lobby. Not only is the enemy team gonna get pasted, but a majority of players on my own team will end this match with 0 kills. Look at all these targets. Most people on my team aren't even gonna get one of them. And this is arcade, so the targets respawn too, and if you're like, bah, arcade, bah. Well, unlike realistic, arcade actually gives you enough ammo to kill the entire enemy team by yourself, so there's no skill cap. Like, if these poor enemies can't stop me, I don't kill 4 or 5 or maybe even 6 of them and then RTV, I kill all of them. Alright, so my loadout here is 6 Magic 2s and 2 530Ds. I could take 8 Magic 2s, but I need the 2 530Ds for part of the strat with this plane. I'll explain that in just a minute. But as of right now, as you might have noticed, someone has already called me the N-word in chat. And now I'll have to edit that off. I don't want the YouTube algorithm to be angry at me, and it's just annoying. And I also have a few enemy players coming to kill me. Now, I have no countermeasures and no missiles at the moment. I'm basically defenseless. And this is where I'm going to use what I like to call the buckner maneuver and just slip right under their legs. So I'm just going to double back and outturn their missiles and then charge right at them. I'm going to feint a head-on, dodge the missiles again, and then take evasive action to avoid their gunfire. I'm too close for missiles and too fast for guns, so I escape and then I annihilate their team so hard that it's some kind of world record. They probably regret missing that shot in hindsight. Oh, and if you're wondering why that Buckner meme said VPO when there are no VPO players in this lobby, that's because I made it for my upcoming video against VPO that I had mentioned, and then I realized the meme fit perfectly here too. So I figured I'd just use it twice because I'm a redundant hack. I would have made that VPO this week. I was actually already editing it, but then this happened, so whatever. I guess it got delayed. Okay, now back to the jet. So an odd quirk of the Mirage 4000 is that the Magic 2s can't be jettisoned due to a glitch. So there are no tactical reloads on this jet. I actually have to fire off every single missile. So if you see me firing off my last 1 or 2 infrared missiles into the sun or straight into someone's flares or whatever, just obvious misses, that's actually part of the plan. Trust me, I know what I'm doing. So what am I doing though? Well, great, let's start with the offensive element. The Magic 2 is a weird missile. It pulls extremely well right off the rack, but it takes forever to arm its proximity fuse. So you actually need to score a direct hit to kill people most of the time. So what that means is that it will basically never kill, normal targets flying at normal speeds from the front aspect who have flares and know that you're there. But it's exceptionally good at killing players who are slow or don't react immediately. That's going to be the most important element of the Magic 2 here in this video. And at the end of this video, you will notice that I actually have 0 assists in this match despite all of the people I shot with missiles. And that's because most of my kills were direct hits with Magic 2s before its proximity fuse armed. Direct hits almost always kill players. It's near misses, damaging someone with proxy fuse, that tends to earn you assists. Now, this map is unique for a front lines map, because you spawn on the front lines flank and you're looking the long way down. You enfilade the front lines, I think is the proper term. So a lot of players will fly down the narrow front line and get into a furball while leaving a lot of unused space on the sides where you can flank around. To make matters even better for me, in this match my own team absolutely sucked, almost all of them. And I also spawned a little late because I was screwing my video recording stuff. So my terrible, almost universally incompetent teammates were just getting slaughtered in a massive furball they shouldn't have gotten themselves into. Planes and furballs are slow, including the enemy planes that are killing my dumb teammates. So, due to this map, I can just flank around and hit the furball from the side, and then just hose all of the enemy players using Magic 2s. And that's the main reason why I'm already up to 19 kills. I saw my opportunity, and I just ran with it. And this is also why I probably haven't been getting focused as much as usual. I've been killing the enemy team so fast that most of the enemy players probably haven't realized just how much damage I'm doing. If this was a slower paced game, I would be getting focused a lot harder by now. The TLDR is they have no idea what just hit them. So on top of all that, Magic 2s have IRCCM, so they'll basically always kill anyone with a rear aspect shot from 2 kilometers away. That will come in handy a few times. And then of course there's all the ways you can angle an IR missile into someone from outside their field of view. So go watch the Kfir C7 or Knos 2000 videos to learn, all the weird and wonderful ways you can give someone a surprise missile death. And, this guy right here is going to be kill number 20. Yep, we're already up to 20 kills. Now, normally that in and of itself would be just a crazy video, quality video, good video, but nope, it's barely even the midpoint of this kill streak. Okay, so back to the missiles. Now, the one base I don't have covered is the front aspect. Magic 2s, as I said, are completely ineffective in the front aspect against an alert player who has flares. Like, you're not shooting someone like that in the face of Magic 2. Not happening. No. That's what the 530Ds are for. And this is where I need to explain how to outrun a turn. Like, if you've ever seen, my series of guides for this game, you'll just be like, whoa, you're just doing the Cliff Notes version of, each video here. I'm like, yeah, I know, I needed all of them to do this. And I'm sorry, Mr. A10, but I just can't let you kill me. I have a brand to maintain, and getting killed by an A10 is not part of my brand. Maybe you can save your entire team from getting world recorded next time. Okay, so back to outrunning turns. One of the things most players never quite wrap their head around about top tier is that top tier jets turn so slow and move so fast that if I fly my jet right past your jet, like 10 feet away, then from almost any angle, my jet can get out of range of your jet before your jet can turn around to attack me. If you do that, I'll already be out of range if I'm moving quickly enough. So if there's a crowd of enemy players, I can basically do the equivalent of running across hot coals. So if you know how to pick your way through a crowd, you can fly right past multiple players and never give any of them a chance to shoot at you. It's intimidating and scary, but if you learn how to do it, it's awesome. The Bill Buckner maneuver is only one way to do that. It also just happens to be the funniest way to do it, and that's not just because I gave it a funny name. Either way, after outrunning all of the enemy players' turns, you can just escape to an area of the map where they can't get you. That's another thing I'll have to explain later. In order to get the most out of my Magic 2s, most of my attacks will involve me coming in from the flank and then turning towards my own team's spawn or airfield or the mountains to escape. That's the best way to avoid most of the enemy players shooting back. However, that does mean it'll be relatively common for 1, maybe 2 enemy players if they are in a fast plane and they're moving fast, like they didn't do something dumb and lose all their energy before I came along. It's possible for one of those guys to slip in behind me and give chase, and it can sometimes be very dangerous and time consuming to get rid of them. So that's what the 530Ds are for. I keep my eyes peeled for fast-moving players who are aligned with my planned escape route, and then I line them up and shoot them in the face with the 530D before they even have a chance to think about killing me. I'm just pulling at threads until the entire lobby unravels. If I pick off a few key players and a few key planes and a few key positions, that greatly greases the wheel of asinine War Thunder kill streaks, and that will allow me to circle back for another attack much faster. The faster I attack, the more kills I get. The more kills I get, the cooler the video. The cooler the video, the more people subscribe. The harder I show for subscribers, the more subscribers I get, oddly enough. And remember, if you subscribe and ring the bell, you won't need to remember how to spell AOLIPay next time you want to watch one of my videos. And while I'm here shilling anyways, I want to thank all the people who have started giving me super thanks. I never asked my viewers for money, but some of them gave it to me anyways for some reason. So thank you to Warning Smile and Soldier22881, that one is a bit belated, as well as to repeat donor Ducky Yanderay, and of course Aetherblade, who is so far the only person to give me American dollars. I've gotten Canadian dollars, euros,
and pounds fucking sterling.
But that's the first time I got real money. Anyways, let's get back to the tactics and strategies and stuff. So as I was saying, it can be difficult and time consuming to deal with the wrong type of player in the wrong type of plane who has decided to chase me and they're in a good position to do so. That has now happened. I didn't quite snipe the right guys in my last pass. So I am now getting heavily focused by 2 players. This is probably because I just killed 28 people in a row without dying, and some enemy players have an issue with me doing that and getting away with it. And that's too bad for them. So I am currently being chased by an Su-17 and an ancient F-84. Neither are strong planes, but they complement each other quite well. So instead of taking them directly, I'm instead going to head over here behind these mountains and get them turned around in the mountains. And once they lose sight of me and they're not 100% sure where I am, I can double back and just cut right past them and outrun their turn and I'm home scot-free. It's important to remember that as you climb the tech tree, planes move faster but turn slower. So early jets will out-turn later jets. Like an F-15, for example, will lose a turn fight to a MiG-15, like a close-in turn fight. So that F-84 would probably have won a close-in dogfight if I tried to kill him that way. Now, I could outrun him fairly easily and circle around, but if I did that, that Su-17, which has decent speed, would mostly come up to me, and if I doubled back to get the F-84, the Su-17 would have had a good shot at me. It's a time-consuming issue to solve. So the better move is to just hoodwink those guys and then go kill someone else. And by someone else, I mean these guys here who have been demoted back to planes that don't have flares, so I'll just mow them down with Magic 2s for kills 29, 30, and 31. You don't need to worry about alert players using flares if those players don't have flares. They're just gonna die. And then I'm gonna kill this F4S with my last 530D. I needed him out of the way so I could cut over my own airfield in order to deal with that Hunter F58. You see my missiles and countermeasures are on reload right now, so I wanted that AAA cover between me and that F58. And that proved to be a good plan because that Hunter F58 did spot me, but he died launching a futile kamikaze attack through the AAA cover in order to stop me. As you can see, a lot of this game is knowing how to not get killed while you're launching an attack, and then also knowing how to survive long enough to get to a map position where you have an overwhelming advantage, and then once you're in that position, you can reload all your missiles and countermeasures in safety despite being completely defenseless. So if I can survive long enough to get to my airfield, it's almost impossible to get me through the AAA cover. If I can survive long enough to reach the hills, it's almost impossible to get me without getting turned around. If I can survive long enough to reach a swarm of enemy players or the area in front of my own spawn, it'll be almost impossible to kill me before I can set some other player up for a shot. Like, I will go out of my way to get you third party. So in order to pull off this record, I needed to be able to take in and analyze what everyone everywhere in this game is doing, and then make sure you know how to weave your way through the map and launch effective attacks while making sure that all of your enemies are either dead or can't possibly get in a position to kill you. Being able to put all of those pieces together takes an incredible amount of effort and focus, and the vast majority of the work involves figuring out who needs to die when and how in which order. And here I'm going to give you the most important lesson in this video. Sometimes that's not fun. It can be really fun to get totally in the zone, then just nuke some poor lobby and annihilate everyone in sight, but it's also a lot of work. And I can only play like this for maybe an hour and a half. I'm usually really into it, and that's only like 2, occasionally 3 times a week. Like, I film all of my videos in like very short time windows where I'm just in the zone. A lot of the time, I just don't feel like playing like that, and when I don't feel like it, I just don't bother. I'll skip all the really minute details and stuff, like paying attention to all that stuff, and just pay attention to like the really important, like high-level concepts, and I'll do reasonably okay. And if I die, I'll just get a new plane, I'll bring a lineup. Like, this is a game to just casually screw around in. It is possible to force yourself to play at like super high levels for a long time, but that is also a miserable experience. There are some people who do that, and I'm telling you, they are the most miserable people you will ever meet. So yes, there will be players who are like, blah, 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 my stats are better, you suck, blah, 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 and I'm like, yeah, but people actually like me. Like, dude, I'll screw around all I want. I don't have anything to prove. So if you've ever seen me mock some miserable psychopath on my channel, every single last one of them was like that. They went crazy playing for stats. And what will generally happen with those players is they check my stats card and assume they can take me, and then they get really, really toxic and start a fight with me, and then I'm like, oh, so you want me to open a can of whoop ass? Okay, I'll open a can of whoop ass, and then poof goes your entire team, and I put it on YouTube. My favorite example, like my go-to example of that happening, I've mentioned this a few times on the channel, was the Hep Aragorn video, where I decided to flex on that guy and defeat him by murdering his entire team while he chased me, just so I could stand around and laugh while he got swarmed because he was the only guy left. And then I did that to him a few more times in a row, just to make sure he got the message to leave me alone. The last match was 23-0 actually, like that scared him out of the battle rating, and that happened at like 1:30 a.m. on a Thursday. I don't care about anything at 1:30 a.m. on a Thursday, and like he usually found me late at night like that, so he was only used to watching me play very casually. So when I finally got fed up with his nonsense, he got really confused why some total noob was suddenly making entire lobbies disappear in front of him on repeat. Doing horrible things to horrible people is really funny. So basically what I'm saying is, if I'm trying, don't worry, you'll know. But okay, so back to this game. I am critically low on gas, and I don't have enough gas to properly deal with this last F8 player solo who's coming for me. Like, whatever I would do, I would need to use my afterburner, and I don't have enough gas for that. So instead of handling the solo, I asked the F105 player to dive down on him, hoping that the F105 will break off the F8 from me long enough that I could circle back and get a shot on the F8 without using up all my gas. But that F105 player, awesome dude, actually manages to shoot the F8 in the head on and kill him, so that's even better. So I just fire off all my magic 2s into the sun to get a tactical reload going in my 530Ds. I then get into position to cover that F105 with my 530Ds while he goes in to polish off the last ground target. You see, I've been trying to guard this F105 player for the last 2 or 3 minutes because I actually need him to win. We are the only 2 players left on our team, and my plane doesn't have bombs that can finish off the hard ground targets on the enemy team. If you haven't noticed, I usually just handle the air-to-air stuff. I won't explain how the scoring in this match works here, but to make a long story short, the rest of our teammates were so incredibly useless that now the enemy team will manage to win on just tickets unless that F105 manages to take out all the ground targets very quickly. Look how badly we are losing right now. This is also part of the reason why I got so many enemy players, why this kill streak is so huge. I had no real competition. Everyone else sucked. But that's not a problem because I could just go ahead and unexist the entire enemy team by myself. Thanks for the world record, noobs. I may have carried my team here just a little bit. So instead of landing for gas, I'm going to use my last few drops of fuel to cover this F105 in case one of the enemies respawn. Hey, look, if you need someone to do bomb or escort for you, you can do a lot worse than me. And because of this, that F105 was just in heaven. Yo, he was able to delete all of the ground targets in peace. No one was coming to stop him. There was no one coming to compete with him. He could kill all the ground targets by himself. And we pull out a clutch win. And because ground targets give a stupid amount of score, he actually managed to just barely pass me on the scoreboard. Also, critting and then killing people gives you more score than just immediately killing them for some reason. And Magic 2s almost exclusively instantly kill people. So that's how I went on the single most outrageous top tier killing spree in the entire history of War Thunder, and then earned 2nd place. Anyways, don't forget to like and comment to feed the algorithm, and remember, if you subscribe and ring the bell, you won't need to remember how to spell AOLIPay next time you want to watch one of my videos.